We have half the population going through menopause at some stage in their life, and the majority of the population doesn't really know, and that includes individuals who go through menopause themselves, don't know enough about it. How do we best start conversations about the menopause? So initially we did a rapid evidence review for the government on the impact of women's menopause transition on their participation in the labour market, and that was reviewing the literature that was out there. On the back of that, we realised that there was lots of gaps in our knowledge, in the literature, and that there was also a lot more demand to look at menopause in different ways. We took it to a group of women who we provided an overview of our findings to, and the anger and frustration that we got back in terms of women feeling that this had never been spoken about before, they had never had an opportunity to talk about their menopause, they had never had support for the experiences in the workplace. That raw emotion made us realise that we needed to do more, and that this wasn't just academic research, this was more of an activist project where we wanted to become more involved. So we then did a whole host of different research projects, working with different organisations. So we had NHS trusts that we were working with, a police force, with the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, who wanted to up their knowledge and support and engagement.
I really wanted equality for all women, really. So I wanted a really robust menopause plan to support women to work healthy and well. So I signed up for the Trade Union Menopause in the Workplace course with Vanessa. And at the end of that session, Vanessa said to me that she'd like to work with me to form a plan for Bristol City Council. We ran 4 separate talking groups throughout the city with 300 attendees. We talked about individual symptoms that people suffered for the menopause and how this affected their work. And at the end of those sessions, we then designed the top 3 requests: education, wellbeing plans, adaptations, support group. So we found out there was lots of different experiences of how menopause affected people in the workplace.
Days where you go into the office and you just can't remember anything, you can't remember the name of the person sitting next to you, or you have horrible hot flushes and you've got sweat pouring down your face, or you bleed through your clothes and you haven't got anything else with you. But then the emotional side of just feeling down and depressed and negative about themselves, and seeing women in those kind of situations is horrible, and makes you realise why we're doing this research, and that it's incredibly important to try and help.
We're talking about menopause. You can best support by ensuring that you've got a robust training plan, adaptations that are easily available to make, and support groups. But
those more measurable things don't necessarily have the impact for every woman, because every woman's menopause transition is different. So women's symptoms differ significantly. So putting one thing in place for everybody doesn't necessarily help everybody. What we really need is organisational cultures to change. I know that there are women for whom it's made a huge difference in terms of their day-to-day life. Just having somebody there who understands them and what they can do or what they can change in their own workspaces and their attitude to work. It's
changed my life. I've learnt so much over the last few years, and we also run surveys after each of our workshops, and life changing comes up quite often.
How do we best start conversations about menopause without being offensive or intrusive or making it awkward for people? So often conversations about menopause can be started talking about completely different things. So having a good rest place, having good washroom facilities or toilet facilities, having access to cold water or natural light at their workplace. That's good for everybody. That's not just menopausal women.